is Kathy Clement with Kathy by Design. Welcome to Make and Take Tuesday. This is a weekly series that I do here on my YouTube channel where we dig into a new paper collection, product, die, tool, technique, and we make something beautiful together. In 2023, we've been making a monthly folio with Graphic 45's Flower Market collection. And this is our final folio. This is the gorgeous December papers. So what you're going to need from your stash of Graphic 45, if you've been following along, are the two 4x6 journal cards, this die cut ephemera piece, this chipboard die cut, and then this little chipboard button. You're also going to need both sheets of your 8x8 and both sheets of your 12x12. Then of course, because we don't have enough papers to make the big folio that we do each month, we dig into our stash and we find other collections that will work with it. And it was very easy this month. We have 4 sheets of pomegranate red cardstock. This is Gina K, I believe, or it might be Spellbinders. These are 8.5 by 11. We have 4 sheets of fresh cut asparagus, also 8.5 by 11. And then if you collect Graphic 45, you probably have their Warm Wishes collection. So we're going to use the journal cards. We're going to use the stickers. We're going to use pieces of chipboard, and we're going to use die cut ephemera because these papers go together beautifully. And I love how the deeper tones of the Warm Wishes add a base, a much needed base to the more pastel Flower Market. It's a really pretty combination. I also went into my Warm Wishes patterns and solids. I had a partial piece of this check and stripe. I have a full 12x12 piece of the snowflakes with the gold solid on the back, and also the green and gold with the green on the back, the black and gold with the black on the back, this wonderful black and gold text with black, a full sheet of the stripes and check, and then from the patterned papers, the 12x12s, I have the Warm Wishes, I have Glad Tidings, and this has a pretty pattern on the back. I have Peace and Plenty, and this has a pretty pattern on the back. So this is what we're going to be working with this time. I'm going to go ahead and get my die cuts made using those Graphic 45 dies to make the file folder, the policy envelope, the little tag and pocket, some of the other pieces so that we can get started making this beautiful folio. So what are we making? Isn't it beautiful? This December month from Flower Market is actually my favorite one, and I'm pairing it up with the Warm Wishes is just such a good match. Everything just works. We've got some gold foil accents, and I will just tell you, I kind of took it up a level because of the holidays. I wanted there to be lots and lots of room for photos and journaling and memory keeping. So I kind of went all out this month, and I'm not sad about that. It's really quite beautiful. Flap page with a magnetic closure. Here we've got our little folio, which turned out so beautiful with these patterned papers. And then inside, room for beautiful photos. Journaling here. These pop out of our little tag and pocket, and this is a flip out, so room for more journaling here, which is just wonderful. There's always so many memories at the holidays, and you never know, how much those are going to mean to you until you're older, I think. So then this flips out. Here's another flap page, a pocket to hold our policy envelope, little journaling tag here, a photo spot here, so you can just slip your photo in there. Simple pocket with some goodies tucked inside. This is a little mini folio just from folding paper. I'm lazy. I'd rather make something than put it away. Then here's the companion page over here. This has a flap and it opens out, and there's a flap that goes this way. A nice little side pocket with a little mini folio, room for some small photos, or writing with a white gel pen is always a good idea at the holidays. So that fits in there. And then this is a little flip, and here's a photo mat. So this is a really fun page as well. Then this flips open, and we have a flip up page here with this pretty lacy border. And here's a little mini folio, waterfall folio here. And this just tucks under our little band, cigar band, to keep it in place. And then this is a lateral waterfall. Like I said, I wanted there to be lots and lots of room for nice big photos in this one. So there's that, and then this is a magnetic closure for that. And the center pocket turned out beautiful. I love the combination of these two collections. Bookmark, journal card, tag, little photo mat, mini folio, and of course you can fit other photos into that pocket as well. So that is what we're going to be making. Stick around and the tutorial comes next. All right, friends, let's go ahead and go over this folio very quickly. I'm going to put a link in the description box below to one of the previous tutorials so you can watch me build it step by step. But this is our 12th folio, so I figure most of you that have been following along already know what to do. It's 8.5 by 8.5 with a 3/8 inch spine and a 3/8 inch spine on the bottom that we kind of put an extra score line in between and pinch, and then an 8.5 by 8.25 flap here, and an 8.5 by 8.25 inch flap here. And then here's our pocket. So the scoring measurements will be in the description box below. You can just follow along, but you can see how we've created little flaps to add all of this together. And this is the inner pocket. So I'm just going to set this aside for now, and we're going to go to work on the cover. And I have an 8 3/8 inch square of my fresh cut asparagus. And then this time, because it's Christmas, my accent is going to be this gold metallic paper. I think it's going to be really beautiful. But because I'm cheap, I don't want to use a whole 8 1/8 inch square of gold underneath. So I've just cut 1/2 inch by 8 1/8 inch pieces. And we're going to miter these just like we always do with our patterned paper. And if you've never mitered before, you just overlap so that the corners are perpendicular. And you want to make sure that you're not like crooked on the back or something. And then you just cut from the inside to the outside corner. And you're going to lay these pieces down. And then you just repeat over here, lining up so that you're perpendicular, corner to corner. And I'm going to start up here at the top, and I'm just going to put a thin bead of my adhesive because I like to stitch on my folio cover and I don't want to gum up my sewing machine. So I'm going to go along the top edge like this. And now what I'm paying attention to is that I have the same distance from this corner to this corner, and that I have a straight margin along the top, and that looks pretty good. So now we're just going to repeat this all the way around. So now we've got from our 8x8 pad, I've cut a 4x8 piece of our patterned paper, and we're going to do the same thing with this, where we miter the corners. Okay, just like we just did. So once again, I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to put my adhesive, a little bead of adhesive, just to hold this in place, because I'm going to stitch this on my sewing machine. And I want about 1/8 of an inch border of that gold. And I want to make sure I'm even from side to side. All right. All right, friends, when you're finished, this is what you should have. And I've stitched around the outside edge of my frame, and you can see how those mitered corners, they come together and they look just fine. I took my large poinsettia image, matted it on a slightly larger piece of green, some gold, and some red, and then stitched around it. And this is going to go right in the center, just like that. But before we glue it down, we're going to take a little piece. This is the 8-inch, this is the border from the 8-inch piece. And I'm just going to put adhesive along here. And I'm going to put it right about here, just to add another little layer of design and interest there. And then I have this side that I'm going to put along the bottom. Just like this. Okay. Then I took my small December calendar, and you can see I didn't mat it the whole way because it's going to be tucked back behind. I'm going to put glue here. And I'm going to put this just so. Now I'm going to glue this whole thing down to our cover art. And of course we're working off the folio because I just find it a lot less unwieldy. That's a big folio, so a lot of times I'll work with the pages sort of off the page. And I'm just centering this up. Make sure I'm straight. And press that down. That is really beautiful for December. I love that tiny little bit of gold. Then I took our Good Luck and I matted it on green and gold. I have foam tape on the left-hand side. And this is going to go right up in this corner like this. And the foam tape on the left is just to level it out. Then I did the same thing with my December 25th charm. I'm going to put this right here. There we go. And then this is that little chip. From the paper collection. So I've put foam tape on the outer edge. And this is the die cut ephemera from Warm Wishes. And if you don't have this, don't worry about it. Just don't do it. Don't do this. Do something else or don't do anything at all. Either way is fine. So our handsome cardinal is going to go right there. And then I die cut the buttons and then used a scallop punch to create a little frame for them. And this is going to go right here, just like that. And I'll probably come back with my tweezers and sneak a little piece of foam tape under that. And then I think our 12, December 12, is just going to go over there right here, kind of halfway between the calendar and the bottom edge. And then I'll come in and I'll add some little sequins, and that will finish the cover. Really pretty. All right, friends, we're going to start working on that top flap on the inside. And I've cut an 8 3/8 inch square of our fresh asparagus paper. And then I took an 8x8 sheet of this poinsettia pattern. And I took this 8x8 Warm Wishes sheet and cut it in half at 4, scored 3/8 inch flaps on the side, and then folded and secured those behind the page. So this whole assembly is going to go down on this piece of green. So now I went into my journal cards for Warm Wishes, and I pulled out this really pretty one. I think this looks really great with these papers. And I'm going to put adhesive just on the right-hand side. And I'm using this green peppermint stripe at the bottom as a guide. Help me keep this straight. That looks good. Okay, so I'm going to flip this open, and I'm going to take one of my little magnets. And I think I'm going to put it down there. We'll see if this works. I've never done it quite like this before, but we'll give it a try. And I'm going to take adhesive. That worked. All right. It would have been easier if I'd put the one on the back side down first. But I've got a little magnetic closure here, so this is going to open out. We'll put some sort of little ephemera bit here, and then some sort of little pocket or something right here, and we'll build this page. So to cover our magnet on this side, I'm going to take this small doily from a net, and I'm going to glue this down right here. And then I'm going to take our clock, our die cut clock. I cut this out of the gold side of this same paper. And this looks so pretty. Look at that, isn't that nice? All right, very good. So I've added my postage stamp frames in alternating corners. These are also cut out with Annette Green's Everything's Blooming dies. Added a little sticker to the center of our clock. And now we're going to bring in our file folder. And this is cut out of the Warm Wishes paper. This, of course, is the border cut from the 12 by 12. And I've wrapped this around. And we're just going to glue the ends behind to turn this into a nice little pocket. At the top, we've got this 4x6 card, which makes a great journaling spot. This is a good place to write down like birthdays or special events. Gives you lots of room when you combine that with the journaling that you have over here on the right. So we put that down first, then we're going to put down our file folder card. Down toward the bottom. Then we're going to take this little cut apart piece from Warm Wishes and tuck it right here into the corner. And then I'm just going to add my adhesive underneath. Glue this whole thing down, and then in the pocket I've got this beautiful Merry Christmas cardinal and our December calendar. So that's kind of fun. Over here, let's do our postage stamps. That kind of goes with our whole postage stamp frames. So there's that one. And there's that one. All right, and then to cover up, just so you can see, to cover up the magnet over here, I put this little foresight thing down. So this closes, and that is our top page this time. It's pretty. All right, friends, this next page we actually have to build onto the book because this is our pocket and folio page. So bring in your folio, and we want this right-hand flap. I'm just going to open my folio like this so it's a little easier to work with. And I have my 4x8" piece of our flower market paper that was left over from doing the cover, and we're going to glue this on the right hand side. Just like that. Then I went into Warm Wishes and I cut this, I think this was 5 1/4. I'll tell you in a moment. 5 1/4 by 9" piece. This is the front cover pattern. And then I scored a 1/2 inch on the bottom and sides. And now I'm going to come in and just cut out these corners where the score lines intersect and make a simple pocket. So fold your little flaps in. All right. And then those flaps are going to glue on the left. Actually, that's the right, sorry. All right. So pretty together, and this will look beautiful with the top page. I'll just show you. See how pretty that's going to be. So everything is flowing together. We like that. To To make the little 6x6 folio that goes inside, I cut a 6.5 by 6 and a 6 by 6, and I'm going to overlap these. I scored a 1/2 inch flap on the 6.5 by 6. All right. It drives me crazy how different cutting tools and different rulers have different markings, but there we go. We fixed that. No worries. I'm going to bring in this pretty piece, and I want this to be 5 3/4. By 5 3/4. And this is going to go right here on the cover. All right. I've got this 5 3/4 inch piece of the black. And the width on that is 2 1/8. So I'm going to go 2 inches. And bring in this pretty check. Poinsettia image. I don't think I'm even going to mat it this time. I think it looks great. This is from the 8x8. I like it just like that. And I'm not going to mat it. I'm just going to put it down. Like this. So take this one that says Season's Greetings. Put it along the bottom. I've got 2 chipboard buttons from Warm Wishes. Actually. Okay, then we're just going to line the inside with 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 inch black cardstock. So that is what the inside looks like. Just added some border stickers and little stickers to the inside, and then this will go in our pocket like this. So pretty. Oh, I love, love, love that. And then right here, let's take our little ATC pocket, tag and pocket. Let's put this right here. And then I cut this tag. And let's take Merry and Bright and stick it in there. I'm going to take this journal card and just fold it so there's a little flap. And I'm going to take the back side of it and glue it down. Just like that. Now this will fold out and you've got another great journal spot. And our little tags will help hold this in place. Merry and bright. So that completes that page. All right, friends, now that we've got this page done, we're going to flip over to our left-hand flip page. I just wanted to show you, I added this little lacy border along the edge here. I felt like it just finished it off perfectly. So this page is going to flip out like this, and this is the left-hand flap page. And for this page, I want you to cut a 12-inch by 8-inch piece of from your Warm Wishes Patterns and Solids, and I want you to score it at 3 3/4. Then you'll have this plain green flap, and you can cut a 3 1/2 by 7 3/4 inch liner from your 12 by 12 flower market. It just looks so beautiful. Before we glue this one in, I want to go ahead and build the page. It's just so much easier to do. So I'm going to close this, that out of the way, and here is our page that we're going to start working with. On the front, I want to create a little pocket for our policy envelope to go in. So I took this image, I believe this is from the 8 by 8, and this is 4 by 3 7/8. I scored 3/8 inch flaps. That's hard to say. 3/8 inch flaps on the sides and a 1/2 inch on the bottom to make this lovely pocket. And then I trim out the corners just like we did before. And we're just going to glue this down right down here at the bottom of the page. Right? And I like how this black border just kind of sets it off. Now find your die cut policy envelope if you did one of those. I did mine out of this pretty check. I love how this works with all these patterns. It just looks really good. And on the inside, I'm going to put our small tag. I'm going to put this little image that I cut out from a journal card, and I'm going to put this little image that is cut out either from the 8 by 8 or the 12 by 12. It was in my scraps. And I'm not going to glue this. I'm just going to fold it because the pocket will hold it together. But to decorate the front, I trimmed out this sweet little bird image. This is also cut out from a journal card. I'm going to center this up on my policy envelope. And I die cut this little frame. We're going to glue that down. And then this little word, Noel, is from the 8 by 8 pad. I have all these envelopes of scraps of this collection, so I'm trying to use them up. And I'm just going to put this right here. And then this is going to slip into our pocket. And that pocket will hold the policy envelope closed. So now we have to do up here. And from this, I found this little journal card. I believe this is the 12 by 12, but it might be the 8 by 8. And we're just going to put this right up here. And then on the pocket, I'm going to take my Joy to the World sticker. And add it right there. So very, very simple. Then I want to do a turn tab up here. So I'm going to take this from the sticker sheet and take its match. And line that up right there. Okay, so now we've got this cute little turn tab. So let's go to the inside. And down here on the bottom, this is from the die cut ephemera. I took this poinsettia frame and I left the top edge open so you can slip a photo down in there. So I'll just show you. Just like that. So you can put a photo in there, no problem. I'm going to put my adhesive on the back. And this just barely fits right down at the bottom. Okay. Then on the bottom, I have this die cut label. To go right here. This is the inside part of the die cut label to go right here. And then this little Merry and Bright is cut out of the 8 by 8. And then up at the top, I just have this little tag. Like this. So now we want to do our journal card pocket. So I'm just going to do this as a simple U pocket. And then the other journal card goes in there. Let's put this Warm Wishes in there. If we take Joy, and we fold it like this, and then we fold it like this, because this is a 3-part thing. That can also go in the pocket, and you can do some journaling inside there or some little photos. So we'll put that also in the pocket. And that is all we're going to do there. I think that's a gracious plenty. And when we get ready, we'll glue this in. I'm not worrying about magnetic flaps this time. I think we're going to be okay. I'm not going to fuss with that. So this is going to go right here. And then I prepared a companion page over here where these are opposite each other. You want to make sure that they flow together well. So I did the same thing with another sheet of green. See how pretty that is together? Only this time the flap is on the right. And this is also 12 inches by 8 inches. And this time I scored it at 8 and I believe a quarter. I went into my journal cards and I found this 4x6, scored a 1/2 inch flap on the left. And I'm going to place this on my flap. And I'm going to put my adhesive right here and fold this over. So now we have this fun little flip page and it looks so pretty together. And I'm not going to worry about putting anything under here. We're just going to do this just like this. All right, so let's turn to the inside. Once again, I've gone into my journal cards. This is a 4x6. I scored a 1/2 inch flap, this time on the right. So I'm going to take my adhesive, just like this, and line this one up over the other one. So now we end up with this. Isn't that cool? And you don't see the other one and you get this full flip page right here, which is really fun. I want something to break up all this pattern, something, a contrast. So I've got this scrap of my poinsettia paper, which is 1 3/4 by by 8, sorry. And I trimmed a little gusset. This is about 3/4 of an inch. So I scored it in half at 3/8 of an inch, and this is 7 3/4 inches tall. I'm going to put this on the outside edge. We're going to turn this into a little side pocket, not just a border, but a side pocket. And then I've got little gussets to go up here as well. These are just little pieces that I folded in half. With a gusset, remember the folded edge always goes against the cut edge of your paper. And that is what makes it work. The reason we use a gusset is that it gives us the full width of our pocket. I could have made this just a simple U pocket and it would have been fine. But I wasn't sure what I was going to put in here, so I wanted to give myself room for whatever I decided I wanted to do. All right. And I'm going to fold this flap back just so that visually I can see where I'm gluing a little bit better. Sometimes it's really hard for me to see pattern on pattern like that. So I'm going to take my pocket and I'm going to use this line right here to help me keep everything nice and straight. And also I know that we'll clear the fold this way. So what I've done, I'll fold this flap back. Here it is open all the way. I'm going to fold the flap back. Here's our side pocket. I added this little lacy border. Over here, I put the title Wonder and Joy from the 12x12. This is a 4x6 piece of our white patterns and solids. And then I just took Warm Wishes and I only put my adhesive on this very edge. So you can put your photo back behind there and you can also do journaling. Now, if you want this to be a flap, just take your ruler, line it up along the side, and bend this back against the flap like this. So then you can put a full-size picture in there, okay? Now I want to make a little mini folio with our cardinal image. And I have this 5-inch wide scrap from Patterns and Solids. I wanted it to be black. I'm going to put this down so that the black acts like a border. I'm going to bring in my scoring tool. So that is scored right about at 3 1/4. And then fold this. That looks pretty neat. I am going to actually trim the bottom because it will fit better in the pocket. Let me line this guy up. So this ends up being 5 by 3 1/4, so 6 1/2. 5 by 6 1/2 is what your paper is. And this just fits in the pocket a lot better. So that completes this page. This inside pocket. And this we have to do in the book. So to save paper, I cut an 8 3/8 inch by 5 of this green, of our asparagus green. And then I did an 8 1/8 inch, 4 1/4 of our poinsettia pattern. Then on the bottom, whoops, of our pocket, I hope you can see, I've added gussets. These are just 1 inch by 3 3/4 inch pieces. I lined the front with an 8 1/4 by 3 3/4 inch piece of this green stripe. And then I took this strip of words and glued it here, and I wrapped it around the back so it would have a nice, neat edge. I just centered it up. So I'm going to put my glue here, and I'm going to put glue here. And I'm going to put glue on my gussets. And then I'm going to fold this up. All right. All right, friends, this brings us to our little flip up page. This is the inside left flap. And from my die cut ephemera, I pulled out this little joy wreath. And I'm going to center it up right here, just like that. And then this is going to flip up. I have 2 of these images from the 8 by 8, and I've scored a 1/2 inch flap on the left of each one. And I'm going to put these down at the top like little flip pages. So this one goes here. And this one goes here. And if we take this die cut ephemera piece, I put the adhesive just on the right, so that will kind of hold those in place, but you'll still be able to open them. See, well, once the glue sets, you'll be able to open them and flip them. So down here on the bottom, I have a 6 1/4 by 7 3/4 inch piece of this Patterns and Solids. We're going to glue that down, leaving a little margin. But before I seal it, I've got this piece of our check. This is just a scrap. I've scored a 1/2 inch flap on the right hand side, and this is going to go right here. So open this out. I need to put adhesive on that so that it will stay. All right. Just leave that over to the side for now. And then I cut 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. These are actually left over. I must have made a mini album. So these are all 5 1/4 by 6 3/4. And I've scored a 1/2 inch flap along the left-hand side. So I'm going to center these. So we have even margins top and bottom here. And glue my flaps down. This top one is going to be our main page, so I'm going to take a 4 by 6 to go right here. Oh, but before I do that, got ahead of myself. All right, okay. Let's take a magnet. I want to make sure I'm in frame for you here. These don't have the sticky on them. I don't know why, but they don't. So I'm going to use Scor-Tape to hold that in place. Then I'm going to put a little bit of Scor-Tape on the top of the companion. It's a little harder to do this without the adhesive, but you can still do it. So now I'm going to bring this over. And press it into place here. Secure it with some Scor-Tape. And now I can put my sentiment down. And right side up is always good. So now see, this little flap will hold our lateral waterfall in place. So open this out, and I've got another piece. You can use whatever patterns you have. That's pretty cool. Let's take Merry Christmas and put it over the warm wishes since we've already used warm wishes. Let's do that. Okay, so now you've got room for great big family pictures and maybe a huge group photo here, but it's just a really fun little feature. And now we can glue this into our book. All right, friends, we're at the very end of this month's folio. It's been really fun. So I pieced together my bookmark. I had this little scrap of green, and then you can see I just took little pieces of the poinsettia pattern and the border and stitched them onto this gold card, which I will eventually matte on black. And then we have our good luck that we will glue down. Right here. And then I'm going to take this chipboard I'm going to put it here and just have it say, "Believe good things are on the way," like that. And then to cover up this little gap, I'm going to take my postage stamp and let's go right here. All right, so there's that. I have put my cover on. We'll just take a little walk through now. I've added my sequins and the cover is on. This color combination is really stunning. Here's our top flap. Journaling room, journaling card, pocket, our file folder pocket. So that works out really well. Then here is our first flap page. And I did take a little gold paper clip and hook these together and clip them to the pocket because they kept falling out. But this has that little fold out and our little folio, which turned out so pretty. I love how well these two collections work together. That's a really fun surprise. Then this flips out. Here's our flap page here with our little policy envelope in the pocket and a little journaling spot up here. This flips out, room for you to slip a photo in back behind the frame. Super easy. Another journaling spot. This simple little pocket with our other journaling cards in there. So sweet, so fun. This one, remember, we just folded up into thirds to make like a little mini folio. And that brings us over here to the right hand inside flap where we have a flap page, a fold out, another flap, this little pocket with a mini folio, and then this photo mat. So simple, but so pretty. And then this folds out. And here's our flip up page. Turned out really beautiful. I added the little buttons from the 8x8 on either side of the latch. So these turned out really sweet. Love. And I covered up the magnet with another little journal tag. And then the center pocket, here we are. I took this doily, I trimmed the little bottom edge off of it, and then put our motto for the month here and a postage stamp here. I added in this little 4x6 card for more journaling, a little photo mat with my last little scrap of the designer paper, tag, made a little mini folio with this piece from the 8x8, and just put it with this black on the inside. Turned out really, really pretty. And then the last thing to go in here is a bookmark. And that finishes this off. Very last one, folks. I wanted to make sure this had lots of room for photos because it's December. This has been a fun series. I'm looking at doing something different in 2024. I'm thinking about it and planning it, and I'll let you know when it's fully formulated in my brain. So there will be no G45 folio tutorial in December. We'll all be busy anyway. You won't care. It'll be the holidays. I will have tutorials on my blog in December, but I am probably going to take some time off to spend with my family as well. And it's almost Thanksgiving, so I wish you all a very, very happy Thanksgiving. That's actually my favorite holiday. And here we are. Graphic 45, Flower Market, December Folio. We did it. There will be a photo array at the end of this video tutorial. There will be basic written directions in the description box below, and a link to my blog where you will find a linked supply list. So that is it for me, Kathy Clement, Kathy by Design. Thanks for stopping by, friends. Go get your craft on.